Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Happy Saturday, everybody. Happy first of the month as well. Kalomina to everybody out there. I hope you guys have a blessed month, an incredible month, a month with a lot of good fortune and a lot of bets to go ahead and hit. And I also hope that your day and your weekend are off to a fantastic start. We've got a new day, which of course means a new NBA player prop video to share with you guys. But first, as always, people, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. It helps the channel grow, and it really does mean a ton to us. With a new day comes some new opportunities to go ahead and make some money. Got a pretty solid video coming your way today, guys. We have, obviously, today's February 1st, first of the month, like I mentioned at the top of the video. So we have our first of the month ladder challenge. We do it every month here during the NBA season. At the first of the month, we start an NBA player prop ladder challenge. So the February ladder challenge starts today, February 1st. So we have a two-leg parlay coming your way for the ladder challenge, but I also have 3 single bets to go ahead and share with you guys after that parlay. So a good number of picks coming your way, guys. But first, before we dive into today's plays, we have to do a quick little recap of how we did last night. And guys, we honestly couldn't ask for a better close to the month of January than cashing yet another Freaky Friday parlay. Now, Zion screwed it up a little bit because he did not play. I felt yesterday like the teacher in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I was like, Zion. I even said it when I talked about the pick in yesterday's video. I'm like, I always feel uneasy taking him, not because I don't think he's going to cash, but because I'm concerned if he's going to play or not. He's basically baby Embiid. Not so little baby Embiid, but yeah, so Zion kind of screwed up a little bit, but no matter. We still hit on the 4 legs that still were graded because obviously the Zion leg got voided. It got turned into a 4-leg parlay instead of a 5-leg parlay. It ended up being plus 392 odds, but we did cash that parlay. All 4 legs cash. Very, very good parlay. And honestly, none of them were sweats. Every single one, like Cade Cunningham had 40 points last night. Michael Porter Jr. had 24 points. Lillard was like the closest one. He finished with exactly 3 3-pointers made. But Devin Booker, he already almost cashed the line in the first half. It was a really solid night. So you go down below to the records. We are crushing it this year, guys. 1-0 last night plus 3.92 units. We are now 10-23 on the year with our parlays, but we're up 9.76 units this season in the parlay category. We're crushing it, obviously, in our single bet category. We're 123 and 104. When you combine both categories, we are up over 16 units in profit overall this year in the NBA player prop video series. We are having an awesome week. Let's end the week off on a very strong note. We're 9-3 this week on single bets. We obviously hit our Freaky Friday parlay yesterday. Let's carry all that positive momentum, all that positive energy into today's picks. Let's keep making money, guys. I know the intro is going a little long here, but before we dive into the picks, with the winning week that we've had, with the winning day we had yesterday, you know I got to go ahead and break out the good old money gun, baby. Let's go. There we go. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Money gun. Let's go, baby. Let's keep making money, guys. More picks coming your way right now. We had a little too much cash in the money gun. Got a little overloaded, but there you go, guys. Let's go. Let's keep making money, guys. 2-leg parlay. We're going to start off with that first before we dive in to the single bets. So 2-leg parlay for day 1 of our ladder challenge. Let's dive into it. All right, guys, jumping into the outlier screen here again. We're starting off with our 2-leg parlay for day 1 of our February ladder challenge. The first leg of our 2-leg parlay comes from the Brooklyn Nets Houston Rockets game, 8 p.m. tip-off tonight. We're going Alperen Şengün, the recently announced All-Star, which I know I was a little bit critical of him yesterday. I do still think Sabonis probably should have made it in over him. That's no disrespect on Şengün, though. No hate on him. I think he's a fantastic player, and he is deserving of an All-Star appearance, but I just think if you had to compare resumes, I do think Sabonis' resume is a little bit more impressive. But anyways, we have Şengün over 8.5 rebounds is the first leg of our 2-leg parlay. This is an alternate line, and this is on DraftKings. We're using DraftKings like we used it for yesterday's parlay. We're using DraftKings for today's parlay. So this leg is minus 210 over on DraftKings. And obviously, with it being an alternate line, the data is pretty solid across the board here for Şengün. You see 7 of his last 10 games, he's cashed the over. He's a 70% hit rate, averaging 10.2 rebounds per game over his last 10 games. Overall this season, a 70% hit rate for Şengün on this line. He's cashed this over of 8.5 rebounds in 32 out of 46 games this season for the Houston Rockets. So some pretty good numbers here. He's averaging 10.37 rebounds per game this season for the Houston Rockets. If we go down below to the rebound chances, he's averaging about 18.5 rebound chances per game. So plenty of opportunities for Şengün to go ahead and cash these overs. From a head-to-head perspective, it's a smaller sample size, and obviously the 2 data points that we have here date back to last season. So how useful are they for this game? It remains to be seen, but he did play Brooklyn 2 times last year. He cashed the over in one of those 2 meetings back on January 27th. He had 11 rebounds the last time they played. The previous time he had 8 rebounds and just missed the mark, averaging 9.5 rebounds per game against the Brooklyn Nets across their last 2 meetings. By the way, guys, I do apologize if my voice still sounds weird, if my voice still is a little scratchy or trails off a little bit. We're getting better though. This is the best I've felt in about a week. But still a little, throat's still scratchy, still coughing a little bit. So hopefully this is the last day where you have to hear me in my little scratchy, nasally voice. Now, this Brooklyn team in general is not very good, but the one area where they're actually pretty decent is rebounding. This is a top 10 rebounding team in the NBA. They don't really give up a ton of rebounds to opposing teams. Versus centers, they're about middle of the road, 13th in the NBA, giving up 12.3 rebounds per game to opposing centers. But if we go ahead and jump on over to the NBA dashboard over on GuyBostonSports.com, there will be a link down below in the description to go ahead and check this out for yourself. It is a membership subscription to get access to the dashboards and whatnot. The picks are always 100% free here on the channel, but if you want access to the data, to the dashboards, you do have to pay a membership fee, which I think is only like $3.99 a month, so it's pretty cheap, and you get a ton of cool features. So looking at the dashboard here, the last 7 game data, you see Brooklyn, the second worst team in the NBA over the last 7 games in terms of rebounds allowed to the center position, 29th in the NBA. So it looks like we got a pretty decent matchup on our hands here for Şengün. He's cashing this line pretty consistently all year long. Pretty solid first leg of our parlay. By the way, guys, if you are watching today's video at this point, thank you very much, as always, for watching all the way through. Put a lot of hard work into each and every one of these videos, so those who do watch all the way through, we appreciate you guys. If you are watching at this point, please comment KALO, K-A-L-O, down below in the comments, just to go ahead and see who's riding with us, who's rocking with us, who's watching with us here at this point in today's video. And if you guys did ride yesterday's parlay, let me know. I hope you guys won some cash in yesterday's parlay. And obviously, we also have our giveaway winner, which I already commented in yesterday's video for whoever won the Amazon gift card giveaway contest. Can't wait for the comment for somebody who's going to be like, this guy talks too much, because I've definitely been rambling a lot in this video. We're 7 minutes in. I've given 1 pick so far. I do apologize for that. A lot to get to in today's video. The second leg of our 2-leg parlay here, we're going Lakers-Knicks, 8:30 p.m. tip-off. We're going Jalen Brunson of the New York Knicks over 29.5 points plus assists. This one, another alternate line over on DraftKings, minus 225 odds. Again, being an alternate line, the data is obviously going to be pretty solid. 8 of his last 10 games, he's cashed the over. That's an 80% hit rate, averaging 36.5 points plus assists per game over his last 10 games. Overall this season for Jalen Brunson, a 62% hit rate on this over, 29 out of 47 games. He's cashed it, averaging 33.43 points plus assists per game in general this season. And from a head-to-head standpoint, the data is, again, solid. Of course, like the last prop, both of these matchups that they played against the Los Angeles Lakers were last season, so take it with a grain of salt. Those are last year's matchups, different teams, of course. But he did cash the over both times he played the Lakers last year, including the last time they played back on February 3rd of last season. He had a massive game with 36 points and 10 assists. And actually, what was an 8-point loss for the Lakers? 8-point loss for the Knicks. 8-point win for the Lakers, excuse me. We also have the insights provided by Outlier. Jalen Brunson has exceeded 33.5 points plus assists in 4 of his last 5 games versus bottom 10 defenses for assists allowed. He's averaging 37.8 points plus assists per game across his last 5 games against bottom 10 defenses for assists allowed. Look at the right side of the screen. The Lakers are 23rd in the NBA in assists allowed in general to opposing teams, giving up 27.3 assists per game to opposing teams. Now, that's at 33.5. Remember, we're getting the line at 29.5, so some extra protection there on the Brunson prop. So, yeah, across the board, just really good data on this prop here. Even look at the days of rest. He hasn't played in a couple days. He's got 2 days rest coming into this game. Look at Jalen Brunson overall this year when he has 2 days rest. 80% hit rate on this over. 4 out of 5 games coming off of 2 days rest. He's cashed the over. The one time he missed it was versus the Cavs on October 28th. He had 21 points and 7 assists in that game. just seems like a really good matchup. Now, defensively, the Lakers overall versus point guards, second in points allowed, 20th in assists allowed in general this season. However, over the last 7 games, the Lakers have been getting better defensively overall. Looking across the board, for over the last 7 games, defense versus position, the Lakers defensively are playing much better. Shout out to JJ Redick for the job he's doing coaching this Lakers team. Versus point guards, you see here 6th in points, 3rd in assists. I'm not deterred by that, though, despite the fact they're playing better. This is Jalen Brunson we're talking about here, one of the best point guards in the NBA right now. So I'm not deterred by that. The rest of the data seems to suggest a really good spot for cash here for Jalen Brunson. So that's the second leg of our 2-leg parlay. So that is our 2-leg parlay for day 1 of our ladder challenge. You parlay both of those legs together. Jalen Brunson over 29.5 points plus assists, and Alperen Şengün over 8.5 rebounds. You parlay both legs together, you get a parlay of plus 113 odds over on DraftKings. So throw a unit down on that one. Day 1 of our ladder challenge right there. And the goal for that one is to see, can we cash a parlay in 7 consecutive days? I don't want to put like a total, like we got to win this amount of money. Can we hit 7 consecutive plus money parlays in a row? So that's the goal there. Day 1, starting today. Go ahead, lock that one in. Now let's move on to our 3 single bets to close out today's video. All right, guys, jumping back into the outlier screen one more time. I want to go ahead and say it before people get confused and mixed up, and then tomorrow's video or the next time I do a video, the comments will be like, oh, I thought it was 3-leg, blah, blah, blah. The first 2 player props were the ladder challenge. This point on are single bets, not parlay picks. If you do want to parlay them, that's 100% up to you, but these are meant to be single bets. So take that into consideration when placing your ticket. These are meant to be single bets. Absolutely parlay them if you want to, but I'm just letting you guys know that ahead of time. I always see people in the comments like saying like, oh, I lost because of you and blah, blah, blah. Like, listen, I'm giving out multiple picks. If you parlay them, that's obviously your choice, but just letting you know, these are single bets. So our first single bet in today's slate comes from the Kings Thunder game, 8 p.m. tip-off. We're going Malik Monk of the Sacramento Kings over 28.5 points plus rebounds plus assists. We're getting this one for minus 115 odds over on BetMGM. It is available on multiple sports books for varying odds. As always, guys, make sure to go ahead and shop around for the best sportsbook odds available. The recent data is absolutely fantastic on this prop for Malik Monk. He's cashed the over in 8 of his last 10 games. That is an 80% hit rate. He's averaging 33.3 points plus rebounds plus assists per game over his last 10 games. Even look at the miss versus Washington back on January 19th. A very narrow miss. He finished with 23 points, 1 rebound, and 4 assists in that game. So even when he misses, they're very close misses. The firing of Mike Brown brought a lot of controversy to Sacramento, but one person that really benefited from the firing was Malik Monk, because his new role, he's obviously been inserted into the starting lineup more often. He's getting more minutes. He's getting more shot opportunities. They're looking at him more than just a 6th man, but a legitimate piece of their core. And Malik Monk has definitely been balling out with the new role, with the new opportunity in this Kings offense. Even the last 20 games, if you want to go ahead and keep stretching the data out a little bit, 12 out of the last 20 games, 60% hit rate, averaging 31 points plus rebounds plus assists per game. And the insights provided by Outlier tell us Malik Monk has exceeded 28.5 points plus rebounds plus assists in 10 of his last 12 games, averaging 34.4 points plus rebounds plus assists per game over his last 12 games. That is an 83% hit rate, So really good data across the board here for Malik Monk. And again, his little run here matches up with the timeline of Mike Brown being fired. It started off back on January 3rd is where he started this little 10 out of 12 game streak. And obviously Mike Brown was fired the last week of December. So it kind of all matches up here. Now that data is really solid. If we go ahead and look at the head-to-head data, it's not as clean. Just one of his last 4 meetings against the Oklahoma City Thunder as he cashed the over. It's a 25% hit rate. He's averaging 25.75 points plus rebounds plus assists per game over the last 4 meetings with OKC. He's played them 1 time this year back on November 25th. He finished with 14 points, 1 rebound, and 3 assists in that game. To be completely fair, though, at the time, this line would not have been 28.5. Let's just put that out there right now. Look at the minutes played in that game. He only played 26 minutes. Over the last 10 games, he's playing an average of 37 minutes per game. So very different role for Malik Monk. And overall this season, a 49% hit rate on the over for Monk. 19 out of 39 games, averaging 27.54 points plus rebounds plus assists per game overall this season. You do see a pretty healthy amount of green again over the last 30 games or so for Monk. A really slow start to the year in terms of cashing this line. But again, this line would usually never be this high that early in the season for Monk. Now, overall, the Thunder are arguably the best defensive team in the NBA this year. Number one in scoring, third in assists. The one area where OKC still consistently struggles is in the rebounding category. Now, Malik Monk plays shooting guard versus shooting guards are top 10 in all three categories. Second best in points, seventh best in rebounds, and eighth best in assists allowed to the shooting guard position. However, and this is why, guys, when it comes to research, it's so important when it comes to player props to do your research. This is why I do the research for you a lot of the times. But if you guys are going to go on your own and bet player props that I don't talk about, the research is key. Look at the last 7 games for OKC. Now, the overall data would suggest it's a really bad matchup for Malik Monk. But look at the last 7 games for OKC defensively versus shooting guard. Over the last 7 games, OKC 24th in points, 23rd in rebounds, 28th in assists, and 22nd in three-pointers allowed to the shooting guard position. It is actually, over the last 7 games, their weak spot on defense. So on the surface, what looked like the bad matchup for Malik Monk is actually, taking the last 7 games into consideration, the most recent data for the Thunder, it's actually a pretty solid matchup. So we're going to go ahead and rock with this one. Over 28.5 points plus rebounds plus assists. Again, getting that for minus 115 over on BetMGM. All right, guys, our second single bet in today's slate comes from the Lakers-Knicks game, 8:30 p.m. tip-off. We're going LeBron James of the Los Angeles Lakers definitely not over, under 26.5 points in this game, which we are getting for minus 115 over on FanDuel. The data on this one across the board is absolutely fantastic. He's cashed it in 8 of his last 10 games, 80% hit rate, averaging 23.7 points per game over the last 10 games. Overall this year, a 65% hit rate on this under. 28 out of 43 games he's cashed the under, averaging 23.81 points per game in general this season. From a head-to-head category as well, he's cashed the under each of the previous 2 meetings against the Knicks, of course, taking place last season, but still cashed the under both times he played the Knicks. Even the last 5 games, 80% hit rate. 4 of his last 5 games, he's cashed the under. Across the board, a lot of green here. Really solid data on this LeBron prop. And from a defensive standpoint, the Knicks obviously top 10 scoring defense in the NBA. LeBron plays between small forward and power forward. Now, small forward is where the Knicks are a little bit weaker in the overall numbers this year versus power forwards. However, they are the 3rd best defense in the NBA in terms of points allowed. This Knicks team is a defensive juggernaut. They are also, like I mentioned earlier with the Brunson prop, all these Knicks guys are coming off of a couple days of rest. With the way that Thibodeau plays them with so many minutes, it's really important that they have those rest days in between, because that means that Thibodeau has even more motivation, I should say, to play these guys even more minutes. So they're going to play, all their starters are going to play 35-plus minutes in this game, unless it's a massive, massive blowout, and even then, they probably still will. Over the last 7 games, looking at the Knicks defensively here, the one weak spot they have defensively is versus point guards over the last 7 games. However, versus power forwards, 2nd best scoring defense in the NBA versus power forwards over the last 7 games. Even small forwards, 16th, not bad, but pretty good data across the board here. So all I've talked about are the positives. What are the negatives with this prop? Because I like to look at both sides, play devil's advocate, be honest with you guys. The real reason why this is a little bit risky is because of the fact that obviously Anthony Davis is out tonight. A lot of guys game time decisions tonight, including LeBron himself. This prop could ultimately end up getting voided, honestly. And I will be honest, LeBron has only cashed this under in 1 out of 4 games this year without Anthony Davis. Now, over the last 10 without AD, he actually has a 56% hit rate. 5 of his last 9 games without Anthony Davis, he actually cashed the under. Looking back at last season, 80% hit rate when Davis didn't play on this under. So, yes, this year, not necessarily the same story, but LeBron can still cash the under even though AD doesn't play. Look at some of the teams he's cashed the over without Anthony Davis against Memphis. Early season Memphis. You got Portland. Come on, Portland. Brooklyn. Again, it's Brooklyn. Washington, which he did just play a couple days ago, but that game was a blowout. I just think the Knicks are defensively too tough for LeBron in this spot. Even without Anthony Davis, I know obviously with no AD, he's going to have to go ahead and take more shots and do more things. But I just think the Knicks are so good defensively that even if LeBron is taking more shots and trying to do more, I still don't know if he'll score 27 or more points in this game. The Knicks are really solid defensively, especially with Davis being out. They're going to key in on LeBron defensively. If anybody's going to go off in this game, I think Austin Reeves is a much better bet, but I like LeBron still on this under with 26.5 points, regardless of Anthony Davis' health. All right, guys, our third and final single bet in today's slate. We're fading another superstar. Call me crazy, but we're fading the Stars tonight. Miami, San Antonio, 8:30 p.m. tip-off. I'm doing Victor Wembanyama under 41.5 points plus rebounds plus assists, which we're getting from -115 odds over on DraftKings. Wemby literally cashed the over last night in a big win for them versus Milwaukee. He had 30 points, 14 rebounds, and 1 assist. And what was honestly a really entertaining game. Him and Giannis were both going back and forth in that game. Both had really solid matchups. Solid matchups in solid games, I should probably say. But overall, Wemby, the line, he cashes the under pretty consistently. Yes, he did cash the over last night. He also cashed the over a couple nights ago versus Indiana. But overall, he's been cashing this under pretty consistently. 8 of his last 10 games, he's cashed the under, an 80% hit rate, averaging 35.8 points plus rebounds plus assists per game over his last 10 games. Overall this season, 68% hit rate, 27 out of 40 games this year. He's cashed the under, averaging 39.13 points plus rebounds plus assists per game. A lot of green across the board with a couple of reds scattered in there, but this under has been a pretty good bet all season long. And from a head-to-head perspective, each of his last 3 meetings with the Miami Heat, he has cashed the under, a 100% hit rate, averaging 34.67 points plus rebounds plus assists per game over their last 3 meetings. They have played once this year already back just a couple weeks ago on January 19th. He had 21 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 assists in what was a pretty big loss for San Antonio. From a defensive perspective, the Miami Heat have been nothing special versus centers this year. 11th in points allowed, 27th in rebounds, 12th in assists. Not great, but not bad either, I guess. From a rebound perspective, it's pretty bad, but from a scoring and assist perspective, not bad. But the emergence of Kel'el Ware, with Bam Adebayo still being present, they defend the paint pretty well. It's going to be a tough matchup here for Wembanyama. These two are going to throw themselves at him. I think defensively they have what it takes to slow him down at least. And again, this is the second night of a back-to-back for Wembanyama. There are 4 games this year that Wembanyama has played on the second night of a back-to-back. He's cashed the under in 3 out of those 4 games. The only time he cashed it was versus Denver, who obviously, if you look at their defensive numbers versus centers, they're pretty bad. Denver gives up a lot of stats to centers. As good as Jokic is offensively, defensively, people can score on him a little bit. But Lakers, even this Portland game, I mean, Portland's defensively versus centers is not very good. He only had 12 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists in that one. So overall, the data seems to be pretty solid across the board here for Wembanyama. Even the last 10 games, 8 of his last 10 games coming off of back-to-backs dating back to last season, he's cashed the under. And last but not least, we have the insights provided by Outlier. Victor Wembanyama has failed to exceed 41.5 points plus rebounds plus assists in 11 of his last 13 games versus top 10 defenses for points allowed, averaging 36.8 points plus rebounds plus assists per game over his last 13 games, an 85% hit rate. And Miami, they are the 7th best team in the NBA in terms of points allowed. So pretty solid matchup on our hands here for the under. By the way, guys, if you liked all the data that you've seen in today's video, you can go ahead and access it for yourself. The link will be in the pinned comment over on Outlier, for Outlier, I should say. Click the pinned comment. It'll take you over to the Guy Boston Sports page that will list all the picks for today's video. At the top of that page will be the link for Outlier to give you guys a 7-day free trial to go ahead and check it out for yourself. It really is the best sports betting tool in the market, and it's really useful to go ahead and pick winning player props. All right, guys, a little bit of a longer video today. Starting to lose my voice. I did not expect this video to be this long, but we definitely trailed off a little bit of a long time getting into the video. But thank you very much for watching. One more time, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. Now, I know it's day 1 of the ladder challenge. If we do hit the ladder challenge today and get on to day 2, normally I would do it tomorrow, but I am still not 100%. Tomorrow, obviously, the pizza shop is closed, so I don't have to worry about anything. Gonna take the day tomorrow to not do a video, just rest, relax my voice a little bit, and come back Monday refreshed and hopefully 100%. So if we do cash the ladder challenge day 1 parlay today, day 2 will be on Monday, not tomorrow. Got to go ahead and rest up, guys, so I can get 100% healthy for you guys as well as myself. We've had a really strong week. Let's close it off with a really strong performance here on Saturday. Thank you very much, guys, for your support all week long, all your well wishes, and bearing with me throughout this week where I've been sick and sounding weird and weird schedules and release dates. I do apologize for all that, but appreciate those who have rode with me all week long. I'll see you guys back on Monday, but until then, Galon Mina. Happy first of the month, guys. Hope February is a blessed month for you guys. It is my birthday month, so it's a month that is very fond. To me, obviously, Valentine's Day, Super Bowl, all kinds of stuff going on in February. But thank you very much, guys. Until next time, hope you're all winners. Enjoy your weekend. Go out there and have some fun, and let's go ahead and make some money.